Last night I announced that I had determined that it was a terrorist activity and made a declaration as such as 9:36 p.m. As a result of that declaration, we commenced Operation ARQUS, ARQUES, which is a joint counter-terrorism operation. That is New South Wales Police working very closely with our Commonwealth partners to ensure that we thoroughly investigate the circumstances of the incident yesterday. We have progressed at pace overnight with that investigation, and as a result of investigations undertaken, I can say that we are not looking for a further offender. We are satisfied that there were 2 offenders involved in yesterday's incident. One is deceased, the second is in critical but stable condition in hospital at the moment. The offenders are a 50-year-old and 24-year-old male who are father and son. The 50-year-old is deceased. The 24-year-old is currently in hospital at the moment. As part of the investigation, we conducted 2 search warrants last night, one at Bonnyrigg and a second at Campsie. The 50-year-old male is a licensed firearms holder. He has 6 firearms licensed to him. We are satisfied that we have 6 firearms from the scene yesterday, but also as a result of the search warrant at the Campsie address. Ballistics and forensic investigation will determine this morning that those 6 firearms are the 6 that were licensed to that man, but also that they were used in the offence yesterday at Bondi. We will continue to investigate this matter thoroughly. It's important for the community to have the reassurance that New South Wales Police, working with our Commonwealth partners, will not stop until we understand the reasons behind this senseless incident and take any available action that we need to do. We always work closely with our Commonwealth partners to make sure that we keep the community safe.
I mean, guys, I'm putting on a reaction video to Sardako's discussion about Ashes of Creation. There's a lot of points he made that I agree with, and a lot of the Steam reviews that I do agree with as well. Please enjoy. It's a longer video of just me reacting with stream, but I just wanted to put it out because I felt like there was a lot of good talking points that I wanted to have with you guys in the comments below. Much love to you.
And the way that they spawn and the way they interact with you still feels a bit not polished. I had kind of an issue with the way that the NPCs work and the way that you fight them last time. Feels a bit more like a New World in a way, where once you kind of just do the same thing over and over until you get to higher levels, which
yes,
you have to put a lot of time in to reach those higher levels, and I'm not willing to do that on an alpha. So
correct.
From here, I'll probably let other people go and test it for me, but I had a good time. I did have a good time trying it out. And
he's absolutely right.
Seeing some of the things that they've improved so far, I'd love to get more into like trying the guild systems and all that, but I don't have a guild. I have to find one. You have to really, really immerse yourself into that game, I feel like, to get a sense of it. And I don't know if I'm ready to do that just yet.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem with that. That's something that I feel like is an intimidating factor for a lot of people that are going to want to be a part of this game who are not used to this core concept of understanding a grindy MMO. And if you're not used to being a part of, you know, a grindy, like, you know, ArcAge, EverQuest style MMO, you're not going to really appreciate what Ashes of Creation is offering. At the same time, Ashes of Creation also has to appeal to the new consumer, because we are in the year of 2025 after all, and a lot of individuals are not going to want to play a game that is just completely a time sucker. Now, you might say, yes, they do, because people are playing Where Winds Meet, they're playing gacha games, they play World of Warcraft, and you're not wrong on that. But the problem is that this is a different type of time consumption than any of those products. This type of time consumption requires you to have effort with working with other people on a constant basis. You can't get everything in the game handed to you off the rip. Of course, in the alpha, there is RMT, unfortunately, and I know Steven has talked about that, and they try to ban people, but it does exist, which is fucking cringe. But you can't get things handed to you in this type of product. You have to work with other people. You have to gather, your profession. You have to have a guild. You have to make efforts. You become, mayors of towns, and you fundamentally build the nodes to acquire better, richer materials and resources. It requires a lot of effort, maybe thousands upon thousands of hours of time put into this game. When it's fully out, you will see the real cream of the crop of it. But I just genuinely think that when it comes to the new consumer and also the MMO player, even nowadays, I don't think they're in the mood for that type of product. And I think the niche that Steven is trying to attract, it is very, very linear. And it's going to be very hard to acquire a big market of people wanting to invest into the product and actually stay with the game and actually see themselves playing in the long run. And I fear personally that the game is heading down a rabbit hole that is going to literally be in a level, or it's going to be in a level of mediocrity. It's going to come out officially one day, be an MMO that just exists, and be a very mediocre MMO, which is a shame for a game that's running on UE5. And I think there's problems with that. But that being said, yeah, he is on OSRS, but he's talking about his experience with Ashes, and then he's about to start looking at reviews on Ashes of Creation. Yeah, got about 800 time in the alpha, and I'm nowhere BIS geared, 800 hours. Yeah, and that's the thing. You can have no BIS gear with 800 hours in. You can have 1,500 hours in and still not have BIS gear, and you're just farming, you're doing all this stuff. It's a sandbox MMO that allows you to play however you want to play, but it's a game that really requires a lot of your time. The problem is this type of game is very intimidating to a lot of new consumers, and I think Steven knows he's not trying to attract everybody to a PvE, PvX game, but he's trying to make a fun game within this niche work. I just think this game's going to appeal more to investors than it is to consumers, unfortunately.
That's kind of how I feel about it. Definitely has potential. That's a good way of saying it.
Yes, it does.
Has a lot of potential, this game. Can you read the reviews on Ashes of Creation? How do you read a Steam review?
It's gonna be bad.
Store page at the bottom.
Oh, it's gonna be so bad.
What curators say? Overall mixed reviews, 946 reviews. Are you not allowed to read them?
Chat, I think it's mostly negative now, right?
Okay.
Just real quick, can we look at Steam real fast before we go to let's look at the store page. It's mostly negative now, right? Yeah, chat, it's mostly negative now. If we can move the camera away. It's mostly negative reviews right now. 39% of the 1,746 user reviews in your language are positive. Yeah, chat, the reviews are mostly negative, and who expected this one? Nobody. You know what I mean? Obviously, we all expected it, is what I'm trying to say. I'm just joking around.
Early access review. Website boss was challenging and engaging. I currently don't recommend Ashes of Creation to anyone unless they clearly understand what they're actually purchasing and playing.
Yes.
Ashes is a pure alpha and a mess, bugs everywhere, issues everywhere,
Yes.
and it's not just with the game. Gameplay-wise, the game is somewhat in a good place for a casual player up until about level 10 to 15.
Correct.
Beyond that, prepare to grind some more. A lot of content is missing, so don't let any flashy trailers make you think it's a fleshed out experience.
This guy's absolutely right.
Community-wise, the Ashes of Creation community can be extremely toxic, and everyone seems to have their own very strong opinions about how the game should be. The loudest one of those opinions are pure PvP players who will at all costs push everyone out of this project if they can. They don't understand the concept of needing an underlying casual player base to keep the population up.
Correct.
But this has happened many times before. Recommendations for testing during an alpha and Ashes of Creation. Play as long as you're having fun, and as soon as you don't, take a break for however long and return on the next big update. Personally, I tune in most of these updates, write my reviews of systems, and then take a break again because a lot of drama is not worth the hassle. There's been a lot of exploiting, griefing, and RMT to date, even in the current state of play.
Yes,
this
there
is kind of this is a better put way of what I was trying to say. I personally kind of hit a wall around that level 8 to 10 where it just kind of turns in. Eventually it all bottlenecks into a go kill mobs in a group for 100 hours straight.
Correct.
And that's not emergent gameplay.
Yes.
Immersive gameplay. I not super excited about logging in to play at that point. But the road to getting to like level 8 to 10 was pretty enjoyable. Yo,
Yeah, and I'm gonna say something on this right here. The biggest thing, and especially with this person who wrote that review, by the way, because phenomenal review. It is a very good review of what they wrote in a nutshell, and they're being respectful about it, by the way. They're not being super negative. They're just saying, simply put, the game is not prepared. It is not ready. Do not let the flashy trailers, do not let these dev interviews, do not let these content creators let you know that this game is ready for the big time. It's ready for the big reveal. And unfortunately, since it is on Steam, it has put itself in a position to be in a big reveal. And now that it's out, it's mostly negative. That's not a good look. Whether you want to cater this game to your investors or your gamers are two different things. And if you cater this to your investors because you're trying to utilize the maximum potential of UE5, you're going to lose your gamers along the process, except your hardcore players, which he mentions in his own review, the PvP players. PvP players in a lot of hardcore games that work with their companies either A, stick to it to a very small niche, or B, dies out. You can see a lot of those games that are a very small niche and they die out. A lot of those products are in the works right now. They exist. They're amongst us. They have a lot of categories where there are a PvP game only and they die out because they can't cater to a casual audience. And that's your problem. The reason why these other MMOs are really popular, or they exist, or they're very fun, is because not everybody looks forward to playing a game mainly for PvP. They want to enjoy something outside of that spectrum. And as myself, as a person who loves PvP, who enjoys, being competitive, and I grew up in a very competitive household, especially in playing games. I grew up in the era of MW2, Halo 3, Gears of War, where we were freaking nonstop yelling at each other. People were saying a whole bunch of really wild shit, as we're all aware of during those days. I grew up in a very golden time of PvP. But I do understand as well that my favorite moments with those games as well was not just the PvP moments. I loved the Call of Duty story mode. I loved zombies. I loved playing Horde mode on Gears of War. How many hours do we have spent in Forge, in theater mode, in Halo? You get what I'm saying? The stories, the memories are not only based on just PvP. PvE is a very massive thing in your game, if not nowadays more massive than PvP in these MMOs. And it's a reason why a lot of developers don't really focus too much on their PvP anymore, because for a lot of people, it's a forgotten thought. And for a lot of folks, it really just doesn't matter too much to them anymore during a time when the majority of your MMO player base who is playing your game are older people now. They're not just young Joes like, 18, 19 years old playing your game. Maybe some of them are. I'm not saying they aren't. But for the majority of people that are, from what I've seen personally, at least from my perspective, so I won't judge on everyone. I'll say it from my perspective so you guys can have a better understanding. It's older individuals from their late 20s to 30s, maybe even 40s or 50s, playing MMOs now. That's your brand. That's your, attraction. I've played with guilds during Ashes of Creation too. Very good people. A lot of these guys were in the military. These are military dudes playing this game. They have wives or police officers. They have retired military guys that were just making small guilds and just having fun with the game and just testing the product out. A lot of these people are just at work at home individuals now, or they're living with their wives, or their wives are playing the game too. They're older. They're not young people anymore. And I think the biggest thing is that it's understandable that Steven wants to attract this specific market, but I think the problem that you're missing on this, ace in the hole, is you're missing the younger audience. You losing out on a whole younger market and not attracting them to this style of a game is a massive L for you, with all due respect. And I know some people might say, like maybe even in chat or in the comments below, that they don't need to attract a young market. If they don't attract a young market, this is just between me and you, this game is going to fall off the cliff way faster than you think. You need a young market nowadays to be with your game. You need a young market nowadays to see a game succeed in the way that we've never seen it before. And I understand MMOs are hard to do that because a lot of MMO people in general are a lot of older people. But the next best MMO is not going to be the MMO that attracts just the older market. It's going to be the market that attracts all markets. It's a reason why a lot of people are excited for the Riot MMO. Why is that? Because it's not just attracted to an older market. The Riot MMO has the potential to bring one of the youngest markets to MMOs that we've ever seen before in history of playing MMOs besides World of Warcraft. And if it can attract that young market with the amount of casual people playing that game, and not just base its game only on PvP, but also have a PvE experience, that game will explode like we've never seen before. I bet you it won't start off on Steam with mostly negative reviews, by the way, because there's a lot of story to why it's starting off with mostly negative reviews that we'll talk about here in a little bit. But I'm just telling you right now, that's just my belief. Let's continue watching.
Yeah, thank you very much for the tier 1. Most of the systems don't work, but the cash shop in an alpha does. Okay.
What did I just say? Chat, did we not joke about that or not? I literally said how many times all the systems that are presented in the game have some issues. They work. They not saying all of them are bad. They work. They have some bugginess, or maybe there's, you know, a report you have to make, whatever. But the cash shop, that works. No problem. You could be in a queue for 8, 9 hours, 10 hours. I literally had people in chat today saying how long they've been in a queue. But the cash shop, it works. That's very sus. And on top of the fact, and I'm not trying to bring this up to bash Ashes of Creation here, but on top of the fact, you guys also have an ongoing lawsuit.
Ha!